Welcome back to our channel, my dear family and friends. We're up for another adventure in consciousness, in the reformation of the Republic, of the destruction of tyranny through Iran, and I'm sure Cuba will follow, Mexico, the cartels, Colombia, Taiwan. I mean, they've all been Ukraine. They've all been cleansed. Possibly we haven't caught up to where things really are holding. Hey, Benjamin. Hey, Starfire. Always good to know you're around. I hope you're doing well and moving forward into this incredible new structure. I suspect I'm going to be talking about. Hi, Danielle and Ellie. It's from Mary Red. She says hello. Danielle says hello back. I'm really proud of Daniela, by the way. She's been putting out a lot of videos on her own, and she has like speech issues, but she's just going for it. She's working hard. She's making more videos than me, and I love it. I love that. She's so brave. Hey, Adam. Thank you, Starfire. Unless you're talking to Adam, I'm not sure. But at any rate, a lot of things transpired today that are really important. Hi from the mountains of Kentucky. Nice, Golden Arrow. You've been around for a while, Golden Arrow. I remember your name. Mary Red, G2, see you both. Good to see you both. Okay, so a lot is going on right now. I mean, amazing news, really. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. I love Danielle too. She is so special, special. I'm just very blessed to have her as a partner. I mean, she's just she's so unusual that it's just she thinks she has her own way of thinking, which it's very good for me to be around somebody who's a kind of an individual thinker, because it would be very difficult for me to be around somebody who is totally plugged into the matrix. I mean, I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt. It's great to hear about Jan. Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing. She's just fearless. No, she's not fearless. She experiences fear, but she goes through it anyway, and that's the best. That's really the best you can hope for. Okay, so two things. I'm going to get to this amazing experience it's a beautiful family. It's a beautiful family. They're not they're not many people like you guys. I hope you understand that the world, like when I put out a video, like yesterday I put out a video, and I get, how many hits did I get? About the silver one?
Over 100,000.
Over 100,000 hits. Why? Because I talked about silver. I know people love to talk about silver. I know it's important, but it is meaningless. Your bank account is meaningless. How many bills you have to pay, all this stuff. It's pure matrix. It's hard to hear that perhaps, but I get 100,000 hits when I report on something that is by the way, I mean, it's interesting, but actually the thing I said about silver yesterday was very interesting, that it could be replaced. They come out with a new invention and it's gone. But because why is that important? Because people feel like, this is it. This is the ultimate, it can never be questioned. It's rare and all this other stuff. Nothing is written in stone. There is nothing in life that is a for sure. Except, I mean, what I believe is that it, except that it's you're heading for good stuff. That's been through all the difficulties, and in fact, the more difficult the experience, the more good is hidden inside of it. So it's very, honestly, it's very frustrating for me. And I stopped putting out these touchy feely videos. I was doing these like 2 minute videos in the morning that were sort of cosmic. Maybe you guys, maybe I should go back to that and just, I mean, I was getting so few hits, but it doesn't matter. I think there, whoever gets to hear it or whoever's interested in that kind of thing would would benefit from it. So why am I thinking that, if I don't get 100,000 hits, it's meaningless? Right? It doesn't matter. I mean, my bank account doesn't change. My feeling about myself doesn't change. I don't suddenly think like, wow, but it is frustrating for me to to have to deal with a population that is so embedded in the fucking matrix that they can't think straight. And all these people, I put out this thing about silver, about the idea that there could be an invention, there could be this graphene invention that could replace silver, if whatever. And people went berserk. They're like, who are you to say this? I'm never selling my silver. I mean, they took it in such a three-dimensional way. And it's frustrating for me to know how many people are still stuck in third dimensional thinking. They're so concrete. Everything is concrete, and I cannot abide by that kind of. It just drives me nuts. But thank God for you guys. So anyway, why am I saying this? I just have to get it off my chest because it's frustrating that so much of the population, they want to hear from Nino what's really going on, and nobody knows. He's clueless. He doesn't even know that he doesn't know. I mean, I think maybe he does. I don't know. I don't really watch him, but I'm just saying, like, but all these black pilling, the world is going to hell, and the deep state's winning, and they're clueless. In fact, they may even be working for the other side. They want to make everyone discouraged. It's insane. So we live in this upside down world, and as a broadcaster, as somebody who just has decided to stick it out no matter what, I just find I melt. I feel so reassured that there are people on the channel that really get what I'm saying. There's nothing is for sure. Nothing is. That's the matrix. The matrix would have you believe that, okay, now we're in war with Iran, and then we're at war with Cuba, and this and silver's going to the moon, and this kind of linear way. This is the movie that the deep state had us embedded in. Meanwhile, you have MK Ultra, trying to make you depressed, and all these things. Put the food and everything they did to us. But people still cannot. It's frustrating for me to see that people cannot just see past it. But a lot of people have. So it's just I just have to be okay with it. It is what it is. So I want to say two basic. I want to talk about two basic principles. One, I spent today outside. The sunshine was very beautiful today in Arizona. There was a lot of wind, which made it a little bit tricky out there. But I spent a lot of time kind of shepherding different projects at once. Like, I decided today that I was just going to, like, when I went to the garden, I was going to do gardening things. When I went to the well house, I was going to do well house things, right? When I go to the big house, I did some work on laying stone in the bathroom. But I spent the bulk of the time thinking, dreaming about the architecture surrounding the roof. Like, do I want a second floor? Can I do a second floor? Is it realistic? Will I be able to pull it off? Where do I want the second floor? Where do I want my office? Where do I want to do my videos? How high is the building going to be? Should I cut these humongous beams that I got, 20-foot beams? Should I cut them down to size? I spent the day really thinking about, like, what am I doing here? What am I creating? I don't have plans. I don't have anyone to really confer with in terms of, should it be should the beams be 15 feet high, or 13 feet high, or 20 feet high? These are the kind of things, when you don't have plans, that are a delight. It's a delight to be able to dream about your dream. So I spent a lot of time, and I'm just thinking, probably a lot of people don't get to do that, don't get to spend a day thinking about, well, what do I really want here? But it's part of the manifestation process to figure out, what am I trying to accomplish? What can I envision? What can I see? What can I dream? What can I plan that makes sense? So I wanted to share that aspect. Yeah, I'm just thank you. That's from Zenjamin. Yeah, I get the materials. I went and I bought some hay and some oyster shells, thinking that I'm going to be manufacturing some kind of concrete type substance. However, it turns out that while they were digging the well, they spewed out all this very fine gray material that works great with Portland cement. So at the end of the day, after kind of not getting, not really, like, slam dunking the my work, like, I reattached. I had to buy a clamp. I bought a clamp yesterday in town to put the hose into the well pump, because it came flying out at some point. Without me knowing it, without clamping it down, it flew out. So I repositioned that. I dug a little bit of the trench. I have to dig another, like, 50, 100 feet of trench for the to go to the well house. I did that. I spread some peat moss over my garden, and then I spread some hay, and then I said, let's go look on the property to see the nearest place where I can find really rich dirt. And I didn't have to go far. Now that I acquired a really chunky, actually two chunky wheelbarrows. I just need to replace the tires on one, but I did replace the tire on another. So I went off, and not maybe 100 yards down the back road on my property, there were some cow pies, and wherever the cows like to go to the bathroom, the soil underneath it is amazing, because they've probably been going to the bathroom there for 100 years. So the soil is like, it's not like the regular soil that we get here, the kind of Kalitsa type stuff. Anyway, these are, but I enjoyed various details, and at the end of the day, having kind of a slow day, not getting a whole lot done. I did a lot on the garden. I did a lot on the well house. I mean, I did the essential part of the well house, and I also, listen to this. I figured out, wait a minute, the well house is blocking my view. Why not put two big windows, and I can see right through the well house? And this is a kind of architectural detail you won't get if you have an architect, or maybe he will, but when you're out there dreaming about, what do I don't want the well house to block the view of this incredible view. So why not just put two sliding glass doors on their side, on either side of the triangle, so I can see right through the well house into the view? Yeah, I've seen this done architecturally, and actually in Westchester, I saw it done. A friend of mine was very wealthy, and his father built a house that had a tremendous view of the water. You could see the Long Island Sound miles away, but they were kind enough to build a house with big windows. So from the road, you could see through the windows and see the water view. So I thought, why don't I do the same thing? I got married. Yeah. Interesting. It's 10 years from 2016. Yeah. 2016 was a pivotal year. I mean, I think it was around that time I started broadcasting. I started finding out about Q. Is XLM silver-backed? To my knowledge, they say it is, and it very well may be, but right now it's not. It doesn't need to be, though, because it has real utility. So people say, that XRP is goldback, and this is just. I've been seeing this for years. I don't have any verification. I mean, it makes sense that it could be that way, but another thing that struck me today, I got a report from Real News that said the first set of med beds.
Real Raw News.
What?
Real Raw News.
Real Raw News that said the first set of med beds are going to be put out designed to incapacitate patriots that come forward. I'm like, what? I mean, so the war isn't over. It isn't over. Although I get other reports that say it's been done, they're just slow walking the population through it. All the bad boys have been arrested or executed, and now they're just walking people through it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I do know this, and I haven't gotten to the number 2 point, but the first point is dream. Take the time to dream. Take the time to not have an agenda. Take the time to just, okay, man, I'm sprinkling some hay in my garden, I'm putting some peat moss in my garden. I actually talked to the man, to a friend named Doug, who is going to sell me some trees. So I actually, because Daniela is now making a little bit of income on from selling LifeWave, we have enough money to buy 6 trees, 6 fruit trees. So I'm very excited about that. And I wanted to get my garden kind of prepped up for that. I bought some seeds at some organic seeds at Home Depot and Cal Ranch that I'm anxious to put in, but I decided to wait till I put the trees in and then plant around the tree bed, to put the early vegetables like radishes and carrots and cilantro, perhaps. Brian best coffee ever. Check it out. Spiritual Bean Coffee online, and Spiritual Bean Coffee in Prescott. So take the time to dream. And I'm going to give myself permission to start making videos again. Where, I mean, it was very upsetting to make, like a video about the fact that silver could be replaced by this graphene substance. It's just, and people were really pissed off. They were like, how dare you, and these people are like, they don't get it, that all possibilities exist at all times, that we don't really know. Well, let me put it this way. I believe we are the creators. So what you think about could very well come true, but the thought that silver is forever and it's the best investment and nothing else, that's just because it just topped out recently. And it is a great investment. I love silver. It's a little too expensive now for me to buy it, but I was able to buy land from owning a lot of silver. So I'm very grateful to silver. Remember that this is something that Dave from X22 says. He says it's not that the silver price has gone up. This is price discovery. It's just that the fiat currency is worth less. I'm a little bit sour grapes about some of this stuff. I can't explain it, but the thing, the idea that anything is, this is the, like the XRP people, XRP, and I agree with them. I agree with silver. I agree with, I own both, and I wouldn't sell either. But anyway, people were very upset that I would even suggest that there were possibilities that silver wouldn't continue to go through the roof forever and ever. Just saying. So with that said, I'm trying to think if there are any other details I want to share about the day. Oh yeah, at the end of the day, about 4 o'clock, I got a call that I should call the the representative from the state of Colorado for the Republic. So that was very exciting. And then we went back out, and I realized that it doesn't get dark at 5:30. It doesn't get dark till 6:30 now. Like the days are getting longer. And Daniela said, "Let's." She dug a hole in the middle of our Earthship yesterday, a deep hole and a wide hole. And she said, Aren't we going to work on this now?" I mean, Danielle is she's just amazing. And she keeps me working. But I said, well, it's kind of late. She says, well, let's put some concrete inside. So I found myself, me and Danielle are mixing up concrete. And the reason I'm using concrete is because when they dug the well, all this gray, loose material that works very well with Portland came popping out. So I have piles of this stuff. So it's very easy to mix with Portland. It's like a 1 to 5 ratio. And even though I didn't want to use a concrete, why should I look a gift horse in the mouth? It's just like, okay, I got all this material. I have a little Portland, so let's mix it up. I got 2 new wheelbarrows that are tremendous, real tanks of a wheelbarrow. So we did it. We filled it up, and we put a little. We tried to figure out the best way to to uh, to put a major post in the middle of the house. And I went to my friend Terry in town, and I asked him what he thought. I said, could I stick the thing into the concrete? He says, yes, if you paint it really well. And then I thought to myself, no, I really want to just put it on a metal bracket that keeps it out of the concrete, the thing. So anyway, we ended up doing that. But the what really happened after that was unbelievable. Just I mean, so I talked to Paul Rodriguez. I think I could say his name, who is the governor of the Republic in Colorado. And I'm going to try not to cry because this just like this is so deep. I'm gonna. I mean, I know you guys don't mind if I cry, but I've been trying not to cry about this. I mean, no, I'm not trying not to cry. I don't want to take the time to really give it a good cry, but the feeling is there. So he called me and he said, he said, we we want to work with you. We have representatives from the military. We're in contact with the military. We need there are 8 states that don't have enough representatives to move forward for the republic. But we want to work with you because you have stuck it out, and you have a nice sized audience. I don't have, I don't, I'm not, Nick, whatever's, I'm not, I don't have million. I have 10,000 here, 10,000 there. I haven't been taken down on YouTube lately, thank God. They just take out my videos if I ever mention that there's a question with the medical establishment. They take down the video, or they give me a copyright strike for playing my own song. I mean, but the fact that somebody knew who I was, that the military knows who I am, and that they want to work with me to spread the word about the Republic. It's like this has been my dream all along. That 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 the work that I've been doing for years would that finally the military would reach out and say, okay, we see what you're doing. We like it, and we want you to help us, because they have a problem spreading the word, because they get taken down by the creepazoid parasites, the same creepazoid parasites that took my job from the Department of Education, that destroyed my YouTube channels. This is the enemy. This is the and I don't sit and gnash my teeth in anger about the enemy. The enemy is doing what the enemy does. I do gnash my teeth when I get these reactions to a perfectly logical, understandable viewpoint about silver that really had nothing to do with. I was not telling people you should sell your silver. I was just saying that the possibility exists that there could be other whatever. But those people make me pissed off. They piss me off because these are humans that are so immersed in black and white thinking, in matrix thinking. It's this or it's this. It's sell, buy or sell. I'm like, I don't think that way. But for the military and friends of the military to reach out to me and say, let's work together on this project, is the dream of my life. I've been waiting for this. I used to when I was first started, I thought, well, surely the White House will reach out to me and help me out, and it happened. I mean, I had some experience with red hats. A few red hats got onto my channel, and they were very understanding and sympathetic, and they watched my back. They would administer when the bots were all over me. They would really took care of me. So anyway, it's just I want to put out this thing again, because this let me get this. Let's see, where did that go? Down here. This is real. The government is not coming back. There is no government left. They've all been arrested. They all have their fingers in the pie. They're all corrupt. They're not going to say, okay, I mean, when you see that the bill was passed 51-50, this is the military's in control of this. When you think of when is the Supreme Court gonna get to the Brunson case? This is just a movie. They'll get to the Brunson case when it's time for the people to deal with the Brunson case. When they feel it's I mean, they work with time machines. The military, they have access to all this stuff. Galactics probably know that, they can walk back and forth from future. I mean, that they were saying that they used that in the attack in Venezuela. They could practice it, and if they made a mistake, they could go back in time and fix it. This is what we're dealing with. But the Republic is for real. They took the Republic away from us in 1871. The banksters took over. And now we have an opportunity to take our government back, to make a real government for the people, by the people. So I urge everyone that is listening to sign up, to volunteer. We were talking to Daniela's uncle about this, and I told Danielle was saying, tell them to sign up for the Republic, but I said, Daniela, they don't know what we're talking about. You guys know what we're talking about. I'm like, have you ever heard of Gesara? Have you ever heard of, do you know what the term white hat means? He's like, no, I have no idea. So I'm like, they're not ready for this. They don't have the language to, you have to have the language. You have to have the vocabulary for something to be real to you. That's why it was so exciting to study Hasidus, because it in the Jewish vocabulary, they have all kinds of words for spiritual concepts that they don't have in English. It's just a one word thing, uh, um, there's a word for like spiritual download, a hemshek. You could get they have actual words, one word to describe a spiritual thing that you have to describe in several words. There is no governor there. It's one of the 8 states with no representation. Which state is that? Oregon? Yeah, I feel 20 years younger. Thank you, Kevin. I feel 20 years younger because I'm out of the matrix. I don't deal with any of it. I mean, when I was there, I was being served papers. I mean, I got served one paper, one lawsuit. They did come up here, and they did repossess my Jeep for not paying payments, but that was no biggie. But yeah, so well, thank you. I feel 20 years younger. Of course, I am taking the LifeWave patches. And okay, so let me just take a minute, but sign up for the Republic. I don't know which 8 states it is, but let's see. Oregon. Okay, Oregon is one of them. Could be. I like the Elvis song "If I Can Dream." Yeah, it's all about being a dreamer. I think. Gosh, am I showing too much of my chest? I don't have any hair on my body. I'm like, um, not that I want hair on my body. I'm pretty happy with. I love my body. But anyway, okay. So join the Republic. It's really important. I'm going to be doing some kind of shows or show with them. They got canceled, and they don't know how to, or they're asking me to help them make sure their presence is felt on the internet. So I'm like, yeah, man. I mean, whenever they want to meet with me on the internet, I'm really opening up a lot to different platforms. So we will be doing the show tomorrow, the health show, 2 hours earlier. I'm going to be doing it at 2 o'clock. Well, that's 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time instead of 6 o'clock with Grant and Norman. Norman may be a few minutes late. Anyway, we'll figure that out. But I think the lifestyle channel is very important, but I really wanted to. They already had an established meeting at that would be 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and I really want to be there. I mean, that's my live stream is to work. I mean, that's what I'm here for, is to work with the military to make sure that the Republic gets reestablished. I wanted to confess, sort of a slight confession, that I feel like I love you guys and I feel like your family, and I wanted to just I want to just say this quickly, and I don't mean any ego thing by it. I just want to say this quickly just to get it out of the way, because otherwise it's gonna rattle around in my brain and I won't be able to communicate as well. But the, I do feel an attachment, and to certain historical souls in certain this entity this is not my first time doing this. Yeah, I've been doing this for probably many cycles, this kind of freedom fighting. That's all. I just wanted to say that, yeah, that's it. I think that's enough said. Okay, so um let's so okay, so now I want to go to the thought stream. um yeah, oh, and I wanted to talk about. Okay, let's go. Wait, we're on the chat. I want to take away this the republicforusa.com. Okay, but everyone should join. I want to encourage everyone to join Daniela's Instagram. She has, how many people do you have now?
22.
She has 22 people. She really counts. Like, she's so beautiful. And she wants to get to 1,000 so she can go live. Do you realize how brave this woman is? I mean, she has like speech issues, and she's just like, she's just plowing through it. She's like, I've got and she's becoming really successful with LifeWave. She's really, she, people really attached to her. I mean, I certainly attached to her. I'm amazed by her. But yeah, so if you join her Instagram channel, she's trying to get 1,000 people so we can go live on Instagram. We'll use that as our live platform. Okay, so that's up there. It's uh, QD Chernesky 77017 on Instagram. Okay, so yeah, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to pull that. I did that. Now I want to talk about. Well, I just want to say that Daniela feels that, and she feels the patches. She's very sensitive to these kinds of things. She's very she's very aware of her body, and because she's had issues, and she had eczema and all kinds of issues with her health, so she's very focused on. But she feels that with the increase of glutathione levels in her blood, she's getting braver, and she's able to do these videos. So I want to now go to, I want to put on the LifeWave thing, and I want to encourage everybody. Somehow you still have Daniela's address, and that's fine. You can. I love it that you're signing up under Daniela. I'd love it if you sign up under Grant or Shelby. Shelby's a lot of fun, and Norman for sure, and anybody else. I mean, there are a lot of people. I really, I think it's great to join this business. Okay, so I'm just going to play a quick video of Dr. Stacy explaining. I think in this one she's explaining. Well, we'll find out. But I want to play this. But I really appreciate it, and I invite you all to really try this technology. Now, here's another thing. There are a lot of people that are just not ready for this. And Daniela is just so beautiful and so brave. And she is asking her relatives, some of her relatives, her uncle and cousin, to partake of this. We actually gave a sleeve of X39 to her cousin. And he says he's got some kind of ailment, and he says he has had some improvement since he started taking X39. But people are not really ready for this kind of technology, but you are. And if you're ready for it, this stuff is life changing. I think she's going to be talking about youth, about how it improves you, and then we're going to go. I want to go to the thought stream on X. So let's just play this. Reverse aging. Yeah. Okay.
GHK declines in its ability as we age. By the time you're in your 60s, there's only about 20% of that GHK that's actually active in your blood. Hence the aging process, and that's why we call it the fountain of youth, right? Because it restores that to the body. We can see improvements in our mental clarity, in our concentration, in our focus, in our cognition, our memory. Looking at our brain scans, we actually study people looking at EEGs and brain mapping, and we can see some changes even as early on as 3 weeks. But really, when you look at 6 weeks, the scans look pretty remarkably different. You may not feel any of those things happening in your brain, but they are changing, and they are measurable amongst a very large population of people. Like I said, GHK declines in its ability as.
Okay, so that is, let's see. That is Dr. Stacey saying that GHK, copper peptide, is produced by X39. I'm starting to use Eon. Eon is amazing. They call it the happy patch. I don't feel any of the aches and pains. With X49 and X39, it nullifies a lot of the pain, but I can still feel that if I didn't have the patches on, my back would be. I mean, I'm picking. I'm maneuvering. I've learned to maneuver giant, big rocks. I mean, we're making our bathroom is being. I'm laying out these stones in our bathroom. Daniela wants to have natural stones as the floor here. So we've collected a bunch. So I move heavy stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna maneuver a 4 by 10 20-foot beam by myself. But that's another thing. But anyway, these patches are amazing. They'll make they will restore youth. That's what the inventor, he set out to do, this to reverse age decline. So if you want to get younger, I mean, I'm almost 71, and I'm working outside every day in this beautiful Arizona sun, building a house. My mom's like, don't go, you can't build a roof. You're too old to build a roof. I'm like, tell my body that, man. Generally a person at 71 shouldn't be doing that. And listen, I'm very careful about these things because I know we're an hour away from the hospital. So even every time I chop an onion, I'm thinking to myself, you know, just remember you're far away from the hospital. Just be careful. I'm like that, especially with power tools. I'm just like, be careful. I am conscious. I don't. You can't drift off to sleep and be thinking about something else when you got a circular saw in your hand. It doesn't mix. I mean, I've been doing this for years, so I know. Anyway, what is Danielle's profile on Instagram? What's your? Oh, let me play that again. Her thing is, it's Q. Let me take this off. Yeah, you can get a hold of Dr. Stacy if you want to talk to Dr. Stacy. She's a wonderful person, or just sign up under me or under Daniela. Come to our show tomorrow. Our lifestyle show is really centered around life waves, but other healing technologies as well. We discuss, everything, castor oil and all kinds of weird, cool stuff. But it's QD Chernesky 77017 on Instagram. She will, if you reach out to her, she will send you a message. She kind of like, we divide our force during the day. I'm usually outside building, and she's inside dealing with communication things. So she does really all the communication and all the heavy lifting when it comes to the internet and our platforms and communicating with people. She does that inside, and she's very dedicated to making sure everything is smooth. She's young, so she can navigate the internet in ways that I'm just like, I'm not doing, I can't do that. And she's like, okay, well, Ellie, go outside and have some fun. I'll take care of it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so that's Daniela's Instagram channel. All right, so now I want to go, and we did the LifeWave thing, and again, we really appreciate the support we get in LifeWave. It's not for a normie. Putting a patch on your body and understanding that your own light is reflected back into your body to activate certain peptides and the like, your endocrine system. I mean, people are used to popping pills or getting shots, and they're not always so good for you. I mean, YouTube may insist that this is medical misinformation. Whatever. Okay, I don't want to get into it with YouTube, but let's go back to the chats. All right, so let me show you some really things that. Wait, hold on. I want to take this off now. Let me just show you some really amazing. There's just okay. Now let's just spend a little moment thinking about what's going on in the world. Okay, so Iran is about to be attacked by the United States. That seems clear. Whether this is happening in actuality, or they're just threatening so that they'll surrender. We don't know how this is going to end up. Silver's going up fast. Crypto is kind of like, okay, what else is happening? Let me think. Yeah, I mean, those are the big news items. But that's for newbies to get excited about what's really going on in the world. You can go to any number of black pilling patriot channels, and some good channels. There's some very good channels out there as well. That won't black pill you, won't make you frightened that everything is coming to an end and they're gonna, whatever. So here, let me just show you some things that I collected, and then we'll start with my thought stream, and then we'll go to the general thought stream. Okay, here we go. Yeah, that's a great. Oh, I didn't put a thumbnail today. Okay, so this is a great post. But be warned, truth is not just liberation, it's responsibility. Once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you are called to act. That's why I'm so tearful about the Republic, because that's something we can actually do. At 4:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the final reconciliation files will deploy every transaction, every name, every layer of the illusion exposed, archived, broadcast through the grid. You will be faced with choices that feel impossible: family or frequency, comfort or purpose, silence or sovereignty. Remember this. This is so important. The system didn't collapse. You outgrew it. Let me read that again. Remember this. The system didn't collapse. You outgrew it. What comes next isn't a plan, it's a return to original code, to who you were before the world taught you to forget. The storm cleared the path. Now it's your turn to walk it. Okay, this is huge, and this is what I'm talking about. It's not about what's happening outside. You simply outgrew the matrix. You simply have to just walk away and just say, I don't live there anymore. I'm out. The matrix didn't collapse. You just outgrew it. It's like in Iran, the same thing. The Ayatollah and this tyrannical radical Islam, it's just the people just were like, we're enough. We're not doing this anymore. They just outgrew it. They knew all along. They knew along. Okay, so let me go back to the thought stream, because there are a lot of posts like this that I think are really important. Okay, the cabal is being destroyed worldwide. The Trump administration is now withholding $300 million from California after billions in taxpayer funded illegal alien health care was discovered. Okay, Dr. Oz just found $1.8 billion in fraudulent spending on illegal aliens' health care across 8 states. Maybe these are the 8 states that don't have representation. The left promised me this never happened. This never happens. This is just what we know of. Dr. Oz, it's against the law to spend federal Medicaid funds on non-emergency health care for illegals. If states use their own money to do it, there needs to be a clear paper trail proving that federal dollars didn't fund those services. These states failed to provide that for the $1.8 billion. So today, CMS I'm not sure what CMS is announcing that we're withholding nearly 300 million from California, which is by far the worst offender, until they demonstrate to our satisfaction that they're spending that money properly. Okay, interesting. Not often spoken of. Oh, yeah, Greenland's another big thing. Not often spoken of is how acquiring Greenland invalidates Canadian sovereignty and pushes it closer to annexation by the US. With the purchase of Greenland on top of Alaska, Canada will be surrounded on all sides by American territory. It will be, in fact, a landlocked country. So yeah, that's interesting. I'm not going to go. I've read that before, but that's a very interesting piece. The airspace is closing, and that only happens before something big. Okay, so there's a lot going on. Elon Musk is cut from a different cloth. After a personal call from Trump, Elon Musk greenlit engineers to work around the clock to punch through Iran's jamming. Software updates already partially restored service. Iran's tactic degrades signals to block protest uploads. Not a full shutdown. Activists call it a cat and mouse battle. Stay connected, okay? Okay, this is critical in my opinion. This is the post of the day. Uh, and this is what frustrates me. Action. Join the Republic. You can do something now. This is what has produced tears in my eyes, because this is the actualization of what we've been fighting for years. We've gone through channel deplatforming, we've lost jobs, we've lost family, we've been accused of being insane, everything. But here is an opportunity to do something. And that's where it is. That's the goal of all of this, right? To talk about it, to worry about it, to listen to this podcaster, that podcaster who's going to tell you they're all coming and it's nothing we can do, we're lost. I mean, that's just nonsense. It's just total bullshit. Or it's all this guy's fault, or it's all Israel's fault, or it's all, the left is all Trump's fault. They're insane. They're okay. Anyway, let me go down. It makes great sense. CMS is Medicare. Okay, thank you so much, Ted Zisson. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's go back. This post. I mean, these Mr. Poole posts. Now, Mr. Poole, I've had problems with because he often says dates and times, which I don't think they're necessary, because if you don't know about something, it could be announced. It could be right in front of your face. I mean, we've all had the experience where you talk to somebody and you're like, yeah, the whole economy is about to change. We're not going to be poor anymore. We're going to have lots of money. We're not even going to think about money anymore. And it's like, what did you say? They're like, it doesn't click in their brains. They don't have the doorways, the passages to entertain such information. It's just the front door isn't there. There's no doorway into their ability to understand such a concept. And it's just like, I mean, a lot of times I'll tell somebody something, I get really excited. I'm like, the world we're heading for the incredible times ahead. And people are just like, the weather has really been strange lately. They'll just they're just disconnected. They can't handle it. They don't have the inroads to process the information that we've been living for. we've been living for. We were created for this. That's why I was talking about these sort of like past life hints that I get from above. It's like, you this is not the first time you've been doing this. And it makes sense because all my life I've been waiting to do this. All my life. Okay. Connections. I mean, when you look at where you've been and where you're going, it's amazing. So, okay, so let me now let's go back to this Mr. Poole post, because this is really just, this is so central to everything I'm thinking. Most people are still waiting for a moment that will never come in the form they expect. This is what drives me crazy about, I'm not even talking about normies. I'm talking about patriots. They're so three-dimensional. It's like, we've been through this for 5 years. When are you going to get it? They watch scenes, track headlines, and demand announcements, believing that real change must arrive with noise and visibility. What they miss is that systematic shifts are never confirmed by words first, but by effects that appear quietly long before anyone is told to look for them. Over time, certain pressures simply stop escalating, even when conditions suggest they should. Mechanisms that once broke under strain are quietly stabilized through structural adjustments that require no consent and no debate. This is how real transitions are managed. The most important shift is not external, it is internal. Real confirmation is never announced. It is felt through consistency, stability, and the disappearance of forced urgency. Silence is not empty, it's the signal. Follow the quiet current. It's just so beautiful. It's just so to the point, because everybody, like in these normie, when I make a video that gets 100,000 hits, I'm just like, oh, it's like I put out all these really heartfelt videos that are so deep, and in my opinion, maybe they're not. I don't know, but they're deep, they're very. I usually make these like sort of spontaneous things that just come to me, and I'm just like sharing a moment in time, a certain passing thought, and most people are just like, the weather's been really strange lately. I'm like, I just told you that the world is we're heading for the golden age. And they're like, do you like pizza? Or, I mean, it's something just like I mean, that's a bad example, but it doesn't even register. They're so busy looking for what's really going on that they don't know what's really going on. They're busy looking for the headlines. They're busy looking for what does he really mean? When are the real arrests going to happen? The real arrests have happened a long time ago, you idiots. Why are you so three-dimensional? After all these years, we've been, you've been dealing with this information revolution. People are still like, they're like, I mean, I think, like I said, the enemy, I expect the enemy to be the enemy. They are perfectly, YouTube is going to do what YouTube does. But for people who are patriots, who've been following Hugh and understand what's going on, to be looking for something outside to occur, it's just maddening to me. And I have to get over it. I just have to deal with it. I just have to say, look, man, once in a while I'll get a couple 100,000 hits on some meaningless piece of shit video. And then the real videos that are real, like last night was a very deep thing. I didn't even look to see how many hits I got, but I can predict. I know when I really say something important, that comes through me. I'm not saying that I would say something important. I don't know. I don't know much. But when something comes through me that's really important, like last night was amazing. I know from experience that it won't get a lot of hits. People just, it's like, the weather's really been strange lately. I'm like, yeah. Did what I just said it didn't really there's no doorway for you to accept the information that I just gave you. Gesara is coming. Gesara will come as soon as those 8 states have the backing of enough people and enough volunteers to fill all the slots so we can have the 120-day warning that the Gesara elections are coming. We're not going to have, the Democrats are cheating all the time. We're not going back to that. It's not happening. We're going into a new form of existence. We've outgrown it. We can't go back to that. My court case got thrown out by the Supreme Court. I'm like, yeah, people are like, oh, it's horrible. I'm like, it's normal. That's the Supreme, and this isn't even really happening in real time. It's like, I'm sure someday I'll get paid back for being illegally fired by the Department of Education, but I don't care anymore because I'm not part of that thought stream that believes that you can't do something if you don't have the money. Because time and time again up here, we expect to get all this money from all these lawsuits and all this, it just never happened. But now Danielle is getting money from LifeWave. There's some things that we're trying to do. We're trying to accomplish here that are very expensive, but we've gotten through. We've got a well now. I mean, Norm, our buddy Norm, was kind enough to come up here, and for very little money, I paid all the material. I bought all the materials. It took me months to buy the materials for my well pump, months to save up for that. And Norm was kind enough, neighborly enough and giving enough to just come up and for very little money, he just got it done. These are miracles that I got these windows for $25, these sliding glass doors that I could use as windows, that I got a ton of lumber for if you're waiting to live your dream till you have enough money, you'll never live your dream. You will, because part of the process involves you to take a leap of faith and just say, I'm going for it. The money will come. If you don't have that attitude, it's just not going to happen. I'm sorry. I mean, in my experience, if you're waiting to, once I have enough money, I'm going to go live in a beach house, and it'll probably never happen. I mean, I don't want to curse you with that. I don't want you to feel bad about it, but we need to get to the point where we understand that we create reality. This is the kind of thing that people don't want to hear. They don't have the doors to understand that. But I've proven it time and time again. Danielle and I have proven it time and time again. You just keep moving forward, and the miracles happen. I remember a couple of months ago, I was like, I'll never be able to afford a trailer to haul up lumber here. Now my trailer's just sitting there, man. I already got my 5 loads of lumber. I'm good to go right now, man. I mean, I never, the well, will I ever be able to afford a well? We're talking about tens of thousands of dollars to charge for the well. I owe a lot of money, but it's like, it's money well spent. It's like, I need a well. And they're saying to me, can you just pay the whole thing off? I'm like, fuck no. You told me it was going to cost one price, and the price was double that because you had to go a little deeper. But once whatever. I'm just like, I don't sweat it. I did in the beginning. I said, I got to get a loan so I can pay these people off so they don't come and kill me. But nobody would give me a loan. Nobody would even talk to me. And then they start sending me bills every month, and I'm just like, okay, I'll pay it off slowly. I'll pay it off as best I can. But you guys didn't have a hard time upping the price. After you told me it was going to be one price, it was more than double the price. So it's going to take me a little while to pay it off, but I'm paying it off, and but you got to move forward. You can't expect things to. It's like, well, when interest rates come down, I'll buy a house. You'll never buy a house. Daniela's brother's been buying a house for 5 years. He just doesn't. They just don't. They haven't found what they're looking for, and they're just not. They're not ready to make the leap. But you have to take a leap of faith at some point and just go for it. I left New York, man, in a truck that broke down in Pennsylvania. I should have, if I was a normal person, I would have just said, screw it, man. God doesn't want me to go. I'm going home. But I was like, no, I'm going to go. I'm going to cash in some silver, and I'm going to buy another truck. And that truck broke down in New Mexico, right? It just died. The guys were saying, well, there's nothing I can do. We can't restore this truck. It's dead. It wasn't even a truck. It was a Jeep, a little stupid Jeep. So, a normal person would have said, man, we got two vehicles, and I spent all this silver. But I knew in my heart of hearts that I had to get to this land. I had to do it. I didn't have money to pay for the land. I didn't have the money, and yet for months, the bank was willing to let it slide that I didn't have the money when the bill came in. For months, and then the bank changed their mind. So I said, I'm not paying anymore. I can't. You changed the rules. But if you don't have that faith that this is a divine creation and you are the creator, you might as well just, I don't know. I'm just saying. I no pressure. I mean, if you're not there, you're not there. But at some point, you got to make the leap of faith, and you have to do what Yogananda, what Yogananda did when he was like a teenager. He just said he got with his buddy, and they said, let's just go out in the forest, and we'll see if we can. We're just going to go for it. We'll just believe that we're going to get taken care of, and people fed them. If you've ever been out on the road, I mean, if you've ever hitchhiked, or if you've ever been without things, it's the universe is not going to let you. Is not going to allow it. It's not going to allow you to get stranded out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, I remember hitchhiking in the rain many a time, sitting there watching car after car. In fact, I remember once I was hitchhiking in the South, and a woman I was dating drove by on the highway and didn't stop because she was with her son. I mean, she's not going to. But I was like, whoa, I mean, these things happen. It's God winking at you. It's God saying, don't worry, man, I got your back. But if you don't really test it, you'll never understand it. You'll never believe in yourself. If you just like, oh, well, I just have to wait a few more years till I can retire, and then I'll do these things. I'm like, you'll never. I don't know if you'll ever do it because a lot of it requires an attitude of sovereignty. That's why I'm always pushing people to invest. It's not that you're going to be rich or that it even matters. It's just that you're taking control of your life, and you're saying, I'm not waiting for the matrix to give me enough money so I can declare that I'm free. I'm free now, and I'm going to do it my way. Same with the LifeWave patches. Not everyone is up to, they want to pay health insurance. They want to pay taxes. They want to be, and you tell them, well, taxes are voluntary. You don't have to have insurance if you don't want to. That LifeWave is pretty good insurance for good health. If you really want to stay young, Get some patches, man. I mean, but not everyone's, what's the point? A doctor's not going to shoot me up. It's not really going to heal me. It's just like flaky hippie stuff. You put this patch on your body and you're going to get young. It's like, nah. They don't have the door. The weather's been really strange. Yeah. That, the world is about to be turned upside down. We're all going to have lots of money. You could do whatever you want. Elon said you don't have to save up for your retirement. You'll be more, and AI is going to take care of all the dirty work. You're just going to have to figure out what you're going to do with yourself. And they're like, the weather's been really strange lately. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, okay. Anyway, so yeah. Hello. Hey, Wade. Good to see you. I'm not a doctor, right? Greetings, Ellie, Soul Tribe, and gratitude from sunny Andalusia and España. I was the worst Spanish student. I used to fool around so much in Spanish class. Poor Mr. I can't remember his name, but he was such a sweet man, and he had to deal with people like me. And but yo, I love speaking Spanish because I was, I had a construction company and my guys were like, no inglés, no inglés. I said, like, what? I studied Spanish for 10 years in high school and college and junior high school, and I can't understand them. So I instantly learned no problema. Manteca, yeah, manteca. You need, hammer. What are Soul Tribe? Yeah, it's Espanol. Tell Danny that none of us is perfect. I'm 78 and I have a long way to go yet. Yet not giving a shit to the clue of overcoming anything. Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. When you get older, you're just like, screw it, man. I ain't worrying about what other people think of me. I got enough problems with what I think of me. Right. All right. So let me just go through a few more posts here, and then we'll. Am I going long? Yeah, a little bit. Okay, let's go back here. Just a few more posts. Okay, so that's brilliant. The most important shift is not external, it's internal. Real confirmation is never announced. It's felt through consistency, stability, and the disappearance of forced urgency. Silence is not empty, it's the signal. Follow the quiet current. That's so beautiful. Effective February 1st, no more payments will be made by the federal government to states for their corrupt criminal protection centers known as sanctuary cities. Okay, amazing. Trump is the man. Iranian state TV threatens Trump on live broadcast. Let's see what that gets him. This is interesting. This MRI can destroy cancer without a single cut. Very interesting post. Here's a great thing. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your savior speaking. Right? I stand with ICE. We stand with ICE. Can you understand how big this news is? War, enemy combatants. The Pentagon is working to surge dozens of military lawyers to Minneapolis to assist in federal prosecution amid an immigration enforcement crackdown there, according to two officials familiar with the matter. A written request has been circulated inside the Defense Department. The email request, reviewed by CNN, says that Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has directed the military services to identify 40 judge advocate general officers, from which 25 will be selected to serve as special assistant United States attorneys in Minneapolis. Ideally have significant experience in criminal prosecution, civil litigation, administrative law, immigration law, general litigation, or other related fields, the request says. Why is why is this such a significant development? Q drop 11, October 29, 2017. Anonymous key: military intelligence versus FBI, CIA, NSA. No approval or congressional oversight. State secrets upheld under SCOTUS, the Supreme Court. Who is the commander in chief of the military? Under what article can the president impose military intelligence, take over investigations for the three-letter agencies? What conditions must present themselves? Why is this so very important? Who surrounds POTUS? They lost this very important power, the one area of the government not corrupt and directly serves POTUS: treason, insurgency, national security. Why have there been no arrests? Another Q post. Why have specific dates been mentioned only to see no action? Define game theory. Why must disinformation be provided? Define open source. Define public purview. Do we let our enemies walk through the front door? Define plausible deniability. Why was it important to first clean house with the FBI and DOJ public info? Why was it important to first clean house with other ABC agencies? Non-public info. What are the duties of the FBI? What are the duties of the DOJ? Why does military intelligence have jurisdiction? What vested powers does POTUS have re military intelligence versus ABC agencies? Re matters of national security, homeland. Think umbrella surveillance. Anyway, this goes on a bit more. The table, okay, so October 31st. Why does Obama travel in advance of POTUS to foreign locations? Why is this relevant? Focus on the power of POTUS as it relates to the Marines. How can military intelligence be applied to prosecute bad actors and avoid corrupt agencies and judges? Biggest drop on Paul on this information stream. The table is being set for mass prosecution phase. You have to show the people, but don't miss what's been happening in the background and below the radar. Around 1,000 additional U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents are expected to deploy to Minneapolis soon, as tensions between federal and local law enforcement have flared after the fatal ICE-involved shooting last week of mother of three Renee Nicole Good sparked protests nationwide. One of the officials and another person familiar with the JAG Corps, the judicial branch of the military, told CNN that 25 JAGs is a huge number to send to one city, but it's increasingly being done in cities the Trump administration is targeting with increased federal crackdowns on crime and immigration. Did you catch that? Trump has been sending in a huge number of judicial corps, military judges into several of the cities targeted because of high crime and mass deportations. I posted this a while back. Now we're getting confirmation being made public. Things are moving quickly now. That's the key. The Kurdistan National Army is actively fighting on the battlefield to protect the people from massacres committed by this Iranian bad boy club. This is saying that people are being massacred in Iran. Greenland, he's taking over Greenland. What's this? Analysis, the Lincoln's deployment tells us about U.S. timing on Iran. So it's happening. Vice President J.D. Vance just defeated the anti-Trump war powers vote in the Senate on Venezuela, casting the tie-breaking vote 51-50. This is all just theatrics, in my opinion. Eat to obey. This is huge. The most successful psyop in human history wasn't what happened in 2019. It happened in 1944. That's the year General Foods launched a marketing campaign that would change human biology forever. They coined a phrase you have not heard your entire life. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Before this moment, eating habits were simple. For 200,000 years, humans were opportunistic eaters. They woke up hungry. We hunted on an empty stomach. We ate when we killed. It was biological. It was sporadic. It worked. Then the script changed. Suddenly, we were told that if we didn't eat immediately upon awakening, we would fail. Why did we switch? Did our metabolism change in 1944? Okay, this is huge, and this is the kind of thing that's probably best left for our lifestyle channel. But let just to tell you, Danielle and I don't eat until the afternoon, and I do most of my work on an empty stomach, and I'm very productive. I can get a lot done. Then about 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, we both, I reach a point where I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. I need to eat. And I discovered today, much to, Daniela is like relentless about eating the right things at the right time. I, however, am very rebellious and I don't like to be told what to do. So I bought some from a farm stand. I bought some sourdough bread, a little sourdough bread that had some sugar in it. I said to Daniela, it doesn't matter. I can eat a little sugar. I can handle it. I ate the bread. I couldn't think straight for 2 hours. I could not think after eating bread. And I'm like, she's always right. So then we had some chicken with bacon and butter. Suddenly I could think again. Do we need breakfast? No, not really. This is fake news. Anyway, plausible deniability. Yeah. Caveman diet. There will most likely be another government shutdown for the end of the month. Watch to initiate actions. Yeah, but I don't think this government is a real government. I think it's all just mirrors, smoke and mirrors. I think that the republic needs to be restored so we can have real elections, fair elections. We've never had fair elections, and we can elect people that we trust to run the republic. 10% of the size, according to Gesara. Anyway, a lot is happening. Let me just look at the most recent post from the general thought stream, and then we'll call it a night. Let's go up here. Okay. Most people are still waiting for noise. This is being reposted. Yeah. How many of you understand what she's saying there? Okay. I don't want to go into that. I just received this, just spoke with a friend who managed to reach Iraqi Kurdistan. This is what he told me. The number of people killed is far higher than 12,000. The massacre is beyond horrific. The regime is close to succeeding in crushing the uprising through unchecked violence. The brutal cold is another decisive factor. People simply cannot stay in the streets longer. If help does not arrive today or at the very latest by tomorrow, the game is over. So, major update. The U.S. Secretary of Defense has just upgraded the United States to DEFCON 4. Message received from Iran. Tell the world we have not given up. We cannot come to the streets because armed forces are at every corner. If they see more than two people together, they start shooting. People are too scared to even leave their homes. Tell Trump we are trapped inside, waiting for them to be pushed back so we can return to the streets. We will not retreat. Even if we are all killed, we have nothing left to lose. So this is big, man. We are approaching the point of no return. We are seeing a massive reduction in the number. Okay, this is another black pilling. I don't want to deal with it. Washington deals to shackle Trump over Greenland. Good luck. Charlie Freak, the first things were taken by the United States Coast Guard from the sea, and there has been no doctoring of the photos. Okay, I don't want to deal with that right now. Now comes the pain. Now comes the pain. Okay, Democrats' food pentagram: vaccines, seed oils, soy milk, insects, Somali food. Dan Scavino, the man who controls the internet. There are great forces and powers in unseen realms that protect and love you fiercely. You are safe. Okay. Okay, silver and coins, very cool. If Iran gets fucked tonight or tomorrow, my time, I'm handing out one plate of baklava to each of you and to celebrate the end of the deep state regime in the Middle East. Okay, so it's going to happen. Ended temporary protection status for Somalis in the United States. All right. So anyway, that I just wanted to touch upon the things that are happening. Greenland is going to be taken over. Canada is going to be part of the United States. All these things are happening, but we are coming into the promised land. I'm gonna play the tune just because I think it's good. Uh, you're the biggest leap taker I know. Right. I mean, it's just, why am I like this? I don't know. I don't know. My mom just gave up on me years ago. She's like, "You're a hopeless case. What are you up to now?" My mom is like, "What are you doing now?" It's just, but I've been doing this for years. But I've tested the waters. I've stood on, I've been And I've been from Tucson to Tucumcari to Hatchapee to Tonopah. I've driven every kind of rig that's ever been made. I've driven the back road so I wouldn't get weighed. And if you give me, I'm gonna get a copyright strike from the jerks at the AI at YouTube if I go on. But give me weed, whites, and wine. Show me a sign, and I'm willing, man. I mean, that's just the way I. For some reason, I'm that way. But yeah, I encourage everyone to join me, man. Just do it, man. Just do what you got to do. And just go for it. Okay. So anyway, so I think that pretty much sums up. I like the idea of just listen to the quiet waves. The thing in Iran, I'm sure that it's going to be taken care of. These are our brothers and sisters. These are our cousins, our people, and they need to be. I'm sure everything is going to be just fine. I have no doubt that the U.S. military will go in and in some respect, clean it up and just get rid of these idiots. So anyway, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. That's the main thing. There's nobody else in the history of the universe who can be you. So just be you. Don't be afraid. Go for it. Take a leap of faith, man. Just don't look back. Don't be like, are you afraid? Is Daniela afraid to make a video? Yeah, but she does it anyway. She's a great example for me. She could be an example for you. She just, she's got things, and she's just like, I'm not letting it get in the way. And she's doing very well with LifeWave. It's a great business for her. I had no idea. I mean, she's not like me. I'm like kind of afraid to share about this stuff. She's just like, because she feels the patches. She puts on a patch and she feels it right away. She's like, I really, the Eon patch, the glutathione patch, she's just like, it's tremendous. X39, she doesn't need so much because she's very young. The X39, she doesn't love like I do. I'm like I can't go a day without X39. But she's like she's 29, so she's just like I got stem cells, baby. Anyway, all right. So if everyone doesn't work, there will be traffic congestion everywhere. Like if everyone doesn't work, yeah. Thank you, Golden Arrow. Yeah, it's good to see you. I just recognize your name, and it makes me feel good. Have you had a lot of military uh, up? Yes, we've seen a lot of military in the air, but we always see them. They always, but yeah, we've seen some pretty strange looking aircrafts up top, but and especially the supersonics that come every day. But I'm going to be do I don't know, I'm going to be on some kind of a like a Zoom call tomorrow with people from Colorado, from the Republic. So this is a time for action. This is not, we have to do like our brothers and sisters in Iran. Even though we may have the semblance, you may think that everything is okay, and you got your dozen eggs, and I have beef bacon now in the freezer, which is pretty cool. But it's not about that. It's about living the dream. It's about being able to walk around like I was talking about earlier. Just like I was laying in bed thinking about, like, how do I want to do this roof? I just can't really wrap my mind around it, but I couldn't really figure out how to do this house, and I just put a post in the ground, and then I put another post. Yeah, and then Danielle was like, "Well, let's put it in a post together." And so we put it in another post, and then another post, and then before you knew it, we had posts all around this vehicle, all around the RV, and then we were like, "Okay, we'll bolt in." We bolted in these pine boards, and next thing I knew, we had a couple pieces of plywood. I said, let's put up the plywood. I was afraid that the wind would knock over the wall, but it's still standing. You just do the next step. You don't have to worry about, that's the thing that keeps us in check. Is you're thinking to yourself, well, I can't make this move until I get my proper retirement, because of I won't be able to do X, Y, and Z. But the truth of the matter is, you don't really have to worry about the big picture, or where you're going, like, kind of like that. All you have to do is decide what you want to do, and just all you have to do is the next step. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Which, like for us, getting a trailer was the next step, and now we have a trailer. Getting the well dug, next step, took us months, but it's done. We have water. Just do the next step. That's all. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to do anything outlandish. Just take the leap of faith and move forward. Join the Republic. Cash out your 401k. Convert it to silver if you like. You like silver? Get silver. I don't know. That's what I did. Not on Instagram, but good luck, Danielle. Okay. Sounds like the old Wild West. Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess so. It is the old Wild West out here, but things have changed even out here. My friend Dave, who he owns Keto Carnivore, just a wonderful man. We're doing a regular show, by the way, every Monday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be dealing with Dave. We're going to talk about Kingman. But he said when he got here like 10 years ago, Kingman was a town of, like, real Wild West people. They loved to shoot. They loved to hunt. They were freedom fighters. They were freedom people. Now, he said, a lot of people are coming in from California, and they call the police every time they hear their neighbors firing their firearms. And so the police have to go to these houses and say, could you stop shooting? And people are moving out. The original Wild West guys who lived here are just like, screw this, man. I ain't, the police are going to come every time I shoot my gun. It's like, screw this. And they're moving out. This is according to Dave. So, this is the Wild West. When I got here, for sure, my neighbor was like, you know, he said, you have to have a gun. You have to be able to, you can't, I had a single shotgun. He's like, that's not going to make it out here, man. You need to be able to shoot at least 4 shots, four shotgun shots. You need a repeat. I'm like, okay, that's what I need. That's what I need. But I think things are changing out here, even here. As Carter 11 gets built and everything else, everything is changing. The world is changing. California is moving in. Yeah. New York is moving in. I mean, what am I going to say? Oh, I can't stand these California people. I'm from New York, man. That's worse than California. So, but I'm a freedom-loving person. I don't care if my neighbor shoots guns. He hasn't been shooting lately, but he used to shoot all the time. It's like, and he'd call me up. He's saying, "Am I bothering you?" I'm like, "No. You want to shoot? Shoot. That's what floats your boat." Sounds like the Old West. Yeah. Anyway, it is the Old West, but we are free. We can be free. We can live the way we want to live. And yeah, let me play the tune, and we'll call it a night.
Living in the city, I was paying down my bills. One flat tire and the whole thing went to hell. Credit cards for groceries, I'm deep in debt again. It's time to split this scene, walk with you, my friend. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, we're heading for the promised land. Stopped paying taxes, your insurance I don't need. The medicines are killing us, hospitals grow like weeds. Moved into paradise, I don't need no gassy cars. Fake news, endless wars, a satanic legal bar. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. My friends all tell me I lost control. Left my wife and job just to run down rabbit holes. But I can tell you one thing about my fall. Where we go one, we go all. Leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. They stole our money, but they couldn't stop the plan. Let's go together, playing with the band. Leaving the matrix, heading for the the promised land. Leaving the matrix. We're heading for the promised land.
So anyway, we're leaving the matrix, heading for the promised land. Just, you know, whatever you take from tonight, do not beat yourself up. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. You don't have to feel like, well, you know, what can I do? Like Ellie says, you know, it's okay. You know, we're not all meant to do everything at once. But just keep it in mind. Thoughts manifest. They really do. And you start thinking about it, you start speaking about it, you start doing research. You're saying like, well, maybe I could do, you know, something a little different. And before you know it, I mean, it is, you know, that's the way. It's just magic. It's just magic, man. I mean, you start thinking about it, you start talking about it, you start dreaming about it. Next thing you know, you're in it. You're in a different world. May the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. You are Neo. You are the one. Nothing can stop what's coming. It's a please God. The military will. I don't know. You know, how do you secure a place like Iran? It's gigantic. I don't know, but they'll do it. That I have no doubt. They'll take Greenland. We will take Greenland. We will take Canada. We will clean up Mexico. We will clean up Cuba. Everything is happening. And we will have our republic back, and we will have our election, our 120-day election for Gesara. We're coming in Gesara and Nasara. Nothing can stop this. And may source be with you. May you realize that you are a creative source, and nothing can stop human will. If you want something bad enough, it will manifest. I mean, I've proven this time and time again to myself. It's just, you know, it's, and I still struggle with it. It's not something that we're comfortable accepting. It's not, you know, it's not. I'm constantly backsliding, going, oh, you know, we can't afford this, we can't do this. And Danielle's, she just like, what are you talking about? She's like, we're manifesting now. And she is on such a high level. I'm so lucky to have a partner like that. I'm like, Danielle, I don't know if we can really afford it. She's like, what I'm trying to manifest something and you're getting in my way. And she's right. And she does manifest everything we want. I mean, just recently she decided that we have to have these, what is it, buffalo socks?
But something like that. Yeah.
Something like she's, we have to travel up north for something, and she's like, we got to have these socks. And I'm like, oh, Danielle, we can't afford it. She's like, what do you know? She's like, Ellie, she said, you taught me to just keep talking about it until it manifests, and we just ordered them. It was, you know, it took a month for me to like feel like, okay, let's do it. Let's get the buffalo socks, man. I mean, we live off grid, man. I mean, you know, the things you do in the city, like with socks. I mean, I could wear the same pair of socks for a couple days up here. I just like, we don't have time to whatever. It's just like we're in it. We're in this we're off grid. So anyway, join us if you can. If you can't, don't beat yourself up. And let's get out there with a big smile on our face.